Here is the question. Should a new treaty be created to protect the world's forests? Hello, everyone. Today we'll be discussing an important environmental issue: international efforts to protect the world's forests. As you know, our forests are a crucial part of our world for many reasons, including biodiversity and climate mitigation. Almost every environmental treaty includes protecting forests in some way. So, why are forests being destroyed at alarming rates? This situation has many calling for a new international treaty specific to forests. But is that really necessary? Let's take a closer look. One of the biggest international treaties that protects forests is the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Within this treaty, a framework was established in 2013 entitled Reducing Emissions from Deforestation in Developing Countries, also known as REDD+. REDD+ helps countries create action plans for conservation of forests. It provides financial assistance, training, and technical expertise to help countries stop clearing forests for agriculture. For example, training farmers to make existing agricultural lands more productive to eliminate the need to clear more forests. While REDD+ incentivizes forest preservation, it has not been enough to sufficiently curtail deforestation. For some countries, the bureaucratic nature of REDD+ has been a barrier to implementation. For individual industries like agriculture and wood production, the financial and technical support offered through REDD+ is often not enough to offset the profits that come from deforestation and forest degradation. These industries are choosing the most financially rewarding path, and our world's forests are paying the price. While REDD+ and many other international treaties like it have had a positive effect overall, they cannot match the financial incentives that drive deforestation. Not only are financial and technical assistance failing, there also exists a failure to enforce environmental laws. For example, Brazil, where much of the world's illegal deforestation takes place, Brazil hands out meaningless citations and rarely collects the fines because cases get held up in court and citations eventually reach their statute of limitations and expire. They're not effective. Also, in 2016, Brazilian authorities made 23 arrests for the illegal deforestation of 50 square miles of rainforest in the South Pará state. These criminals were part of the biggest deforestation ring in Brazil, and in the end, none of them received any jail time. Like, really? Forest protection will continue to require financial and technical support, but we also need to help countries with enforcement of environmental laws, while also holding countries accountable for negligence, for failing to stop excessive forest destruction. This is not a joke. These forests belong to the world, and we are letting them be destroyed year after year. It's ridiculous. So should we create a whole new treaty specific to forests that is legally binding and enforceable? That would not be necessary, in my opinion. Creating a whole new treaty specific to forests would require complex negotiations and would be a long process just to build a basic framework that most countries would need to hopefully endorse. This will waste a lot of time. Forests contain an estimated 80% of the world's terrestrial biodiversity, and a framework to protect biodiversity already exists. So, in a way, it protects forests as well. This treaty was enacted in 1993 and boasts a 196 nation membership list. It's called the Convention on Biological Diversity, or CBD for short. The language needed to make forest protection legally enforceable is already written in this agreement. Under Article 1 of CBD, countries have a legal obligation to curtail biodiversity loss. With deforestation being one of the biggest drivers of biodiversity loss, this convention can be used to directly protect forests. So why hasn't it been successful thus far? CBD is a legally binding agreement between countries which requires every party to immediately stop biodiversity loss. They have this obligation, but with no consequences for noncompliance. Most countries, have failed to put in good faith efforts to curtail biodiversity loss, which has led to virtually unmitigated deforestation worldwide. What is needed is a new protocol within CBD for legal action aimed at countries who have been grossly negligent in their duty to protect forests. A protocol that provides countries with enforcement-related support, comprehensive monitoring capabilities, and intervention strategies. And as a last resort, this protocol should also provide a tool to sanction countries that fail to halt the destruction of our Earth's forests. The problem with the current state of forest protection is that it is too soft. It's actually just a set of good intentions and monitoring and ways to throw money at the problem. Yes, we need to provide financial and technological support, especially for underdeveloped countries. That must be a part of the solution. But those strategies cannot stand alone. There must also be consequences for grossly failing to protect forests. This type of action plan can exist while also protecting indigenous people's rights and allowing for important industries like agriculture and wood production to remain prosperous. We can do this. Our forests need us to take meaningful action as soon as possible. Making a whole new treaty specific to forests would be a waste of time. Adding legal teeth to CBD in the form of a protocol to enforce forest protection is the most logical path to stopping forest destruction. Countries party to CBD have had an obligation to halt biodiversity loss for over 30 years, and we have utterly failed. It is time to provide the tools necessary to make this happen.